All right, we are starting. Oh, I hate it when it's like 15 seconds in. Instagram starting a little bit closer there. Welcome to Crush This a Monster Truck podcast presented by J Concepts. Man, what a week for me. And we had Frank Krim on. It was freaking awesome. Um, and went to did some RCs this weekend, which was pretty cool. But went to a monster truck show Sunday. Full throttle monster trucks was going on. Excited about going to those shows and stuff like that. So um, once again, want to thank our good sponsor J Concepts for what they have done with the retro monster trucks, full size, not full size, even the pro mod stuff like that, bodies, tires. Go to jconcepts.net and get yourself 15% off all items on checkout. Um, I myself am a J Concepts driver. Love representing them. Love what they do. They go with awesome all the way to the 73s and stuff like that. So, um, man, go to jconcepts.net. Helps us out, also helps them out, get the product in, especially in the monster truck world. Jason and all Mac and all those people there at J Concepts does a fantastic job recreating monster truck tires from the Firestorm, Gold Years, and also the Renegades. Even with our guest today with Brad, with the Mega Mud trucks, they have the King Flings, so you can make your own RC Mega truck if you want to. Also, the 2+2, like you want to be a Bigfoot Ranger driver, all sorts of stuff. And then they have their silent motors, their 17 turns and 27 turn motors. So go take a look at that too. Want to let everyone know when we have Brad on, the screen will get a little bit smaller. Even though I have my on air sign right there is a brand new sign that people can see on the camera, and it's my open sign. I love it. So I can't wait for that going on there. So also more talk to go to our spread shop, Crush This a Monster Truck podcast spread shop, and get some merch. I had my t-shirt on, hats, all sorts of new merchandise. Not merchandise, there's supposed to be new merchandise coming, but I do have a second half, a co-host. We started back working, so he'll get the ball rolling and pull the weight that he does, and just keep on trucking. And we'll get back into gear with our merchandise and stuff like that too. Also, want to show a shout out to Monster Truck Attitude. They do a downhill monster truck racing, kind of like a little bit like fantasy football type deal. And he's doing his pay-per-views. I'm right now also trying to share and stuff like that, our social media too, for people on Facebook and whatnot. But once again, go to Monster Truck Attitude on Facebook and on YouTube. He's doing some special like pay-per-view type deal themes, once a month deals. So Thursday Night Thunder is his golden gem, but that is on hold as a right now, and we'll go from there. It's hard to multitask, to be honest with you right now. Okay, so uh wow, already with the trash talking on you, Brad. Your boy Patrick's already saying something. So let's one more thing here. Let's go to Limbs Like Me, Cole Bernard. He has a cool site that's supposed to help out with, people with formula disabilities, arms, legs, stuff like that, and help them with the stuff that they need and push through. And go to limbslikeme.org or email Cole at lminfo at limbslikeme.org for any information and maybe donation, just to help the pursuit of having a better life from a tragic accident. We all try to climb on up when we're falling down, sometimes worse than others, but this helps out what's going on with just medical situations like that. So go to limslikeme.org for more information. Also, want to go give some shout out love to um, Monster Jam driver and also book author Bryce Kenny and Geared for Life. Go see that on Amazon.com. It's slash gear life making shift potential. It's basically the kind of the secondary in there what going on there too. So um go limbs like me, not limbs like me, geared for life. Also want to give a shout out to uh sorry about that. Want to give a shout out to MW1 Entertainment. Mark Warner, he is one of our sponsors, and he's a cool monster truck announcer. Go show his love. He's starting to get back rolling. Doctor cleared him on stuff, so it's gonna be cool to have him on to be an announcer and whatnot. It'd be pretty cool. So we're gonna also have a couple other things that's gonna be helping us out with our sponsorship, and that's Back Channel Productions and also MTRC. Uh, you know, Colby Marshall and them, they do some fantastic 10 scale footage, and also Back Channel does some awesome monster truck footage from Monster Truck All-Star, Overdrive, Throwdown. Gonna get back and rolling here. I'll see him this weekend at Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. Once again, also want to give a shout out to Hall Brothers Racing. They give us our day, help our decals. They hand out with Independence throughout the whole program, just to help support our podcast and try to show some love around the United States or even around the world with podcasts and stuff like that. But we will be at Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania for the 4-wheel drive jamboree that's happening there this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I know the lineup has R2 trucks, Dirt Crew, I think Blockhead, War Wizard, Bad News Travels Fast, Playing Hooky. Could possibly have maybe one more Jerry truck. Maybe, I don't know. It's right now 7 as of right now. So we'll have that going too. So while I'm going to play these commercials, I'm also going to share and like in this place. So please share, like, subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook. We're on Twitch. We are also on Instagram too. So that's a cool thing. Instagram Live, Twitch. People, I love to check out who's watching on our Twitch right now, but show us some love. If you guys can comment also on Facebook or on YouTube, maybe on Instagram, go there and say, hey, I watch you on Twitch also. That'd be pretty cool. So, and also thank you for the 5-star likes and the 5-star reviews on iTunes and Spotify. I don't know where we're at on motorsports stuff. We're probably in the bottom 100, but I think we're like one of the only monster truck ones out there right now. So we could take that top 5 spot right there in the monster truck world on the podcast stuff. So we'll take that as it is. But please start liking. Please try to get our product up and running. That'd be awesome. Show some love with the merchandise, stuff like that. Just to get the ball rolling here with it. Because, I mean, the more we help our podcast out, the more and less you'll see this bed that's behind me. Because you know what? I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. So that's the way it is. So that's how it goes. And the internet connection in this bedroom is the only way, not in the living room. And I'm not getting like a 20-foot wire. So I'm going to do it like that. So let's go and do our thank yous and intros and stuff like that. We'll have Brad Kovacs and his ballistic mega mud truck, and have some chat, talk about it, because also people may not know he has a past history with monster trucks. So he's been around the East Coast, North Carolina boy. So we'll go ahead and have a good conversation. So here we go.
This isn't your typical motorsports podcast. You're listening to Crush This, a monster truck podcast presented by High Octane Coffee and J Concepts. A show where we take you inside the minds of your favorite drivers, past and present, of the monster truck industry. And now, your hosts, Brad Shaw and Dan Chichagash. Buckle in. The show starts now.
Hey, well, look at here. Right now, we got our big guest here, Brad, actually with a awesome weekend at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. We had a monster and mega truck event there, and man, what a weekend! First time there, recovering from I guess what we say, bad owners, and not really bad, but the weekends before in the years they didn't have a very good monster truck program, I guess you may say. And this time around, Ryan Hogenkamp and his product, which is very popular over there at the West Lebanon Valley Speedway, which that will be later on in the month of July too, came out and brought in 6 monster trucks and 6 mega trucks. So when prior to, you even told me earlier before we started that this truck only was built, it was its 3rd or 4th show at Pittsburgh. So how did you get connected with Ryan, and how did that all went down?
Man, I've been talking to Ryan for a while on Facebook here and there ever since West Leb of last year. We tried to get the truck done to make it that one, and it didn't work out. And just stayed in contact. We got the truck finished back in September. Finally ran it in April of this year, and been trying to hit every show we possibly can since.
So are you going to be at West Leb?
I would love to. I would absolutely love to, but I am not sure. I still work full-time job, so
okay,
that's whatever they let me do.
So we do have a lot of fans that also, I mean, the monster truck and mega truck world intertwine, with the Andersons and, Sims that also did some stuff and whatnot. And one of the top notch places, to go to is Dennis Anderson's Muddy Motorsports Park, the North versus South, the Slinging for Boobies, stuff like that. And, Mid-America is one park. And, there's a bunch of parks like, next to me, there's the Badlands over there in Annika, Indiana. There's a lot of places in general. So we may have some fans that know about Mega Mud trucks, but we have people maybe don't know about it. Or we do have, I know it's crazy to think, but we do have fans and people around the United States that live under rocks. So just give an explanation about what's difference between a I'm just gonna talk today. A mega truck and a monster truck, because it seems like today's media gets extremely confused about that.
Well, all right. Let's see. The simplest difference between them, the main difference is just the tires. Monster trucks are running this 66s, and mega trucks, most of the guys out there are running, especially like the race trucks, they're running 14.9 24 BKTs. They're R2 track tires. They're on they're on standard F106 Rockwells 2.5 ton top loaders, like mine, Meritor axles, compared to your monster trucks are running F106 centers with 20 ton outers. You know what I mean? Like, y'all are getting 26 to 30 inches of travel. Most of the guys that I run with right now running 20. A few guys are running 26s. Very, very few are running 30. And that's just a small portion of the mega truck world. It's really vast.
It's crazy too to know about, your weight and power ratio on a mega mud truck is insane.
Yeah.
So you guys are definitely under. We're going up in weight. I think you guys still are. I think some guys are going up, but you guys still have, twice as less weight than we do. Some trucks are what 6,000-7,000 pounds. I don't know what the heaviest Mega Mud truck, probably what X Monster truck. I'm assuming that is probably it, but a naturally born, built from the top, from the ground up. Wait, you're looking at what, 8,000 maybe? I don't.
Man, I think some of the trucks are even lighter than that. I know a few trucks getting built right now. Some of the guys are trying to aim for around like 4,000, 5,000 pounds. Mine's built to take a beating. Like when I originally had the conception of building this truck, and it started a long time ago. I mean, it started probably like 7 years ago with this rendition of it. The chassis I built was to go out there and go run freestyle, to be able to compete with monster trucks and, try to race, kind of. A lot of these guys that I run with, I run in a series called Premier Mega Trucks, and they got all kinds of races going up and down the East Coast. Those guys are super lightweight. Some of those guys are pushing well over 2,000 horsepower. It's wild out there.
How
I'm
fast
running
you guys go.
No, yeah. Dude, some of those guys out there, just like name drop one of them, like the Tysons. They are so fast. It is mind blowing how fast they are moving in those rigs. They're so lightweight. It's like a go-kart just running up and down the track with 2,000 horsepower attached to the back of it, just ripping and roaring.
I was about to say, I was talking to Ryan. I think right now with the lineup against monster trucks and mega trucks at West Lab, I think mega trucks have won every single race. I think maybe just one off top, but I don't know. Though we think about it, we're like they win a lot. I mean, because they're the skinnier tires. I mean, there's like I was talking about earlier. Monster trucks have a limit. I mean, because of all the sanctioning bodies, Monster Jam, MTRA, you have so many now. I guess you're having forms of groups forming to do something, but you still have your individual, like kind of like the Wild Wild West of the 1980s, when monster trucks first started. Mega trucks are kind of the same because, you have so many different. You had 6 trucks at Pittsburgh, but there was a bunch of different ones. I mean, you had your full strong racing trucks like yours, and I think the other metal shop one, but then you had the Sarge, where it was like yours, but it still had a steel body on it. And but then you had that one that was a Jeep, where it was pretty much stock, but they just put a cradle underneath of everything.
Yeah, stock chassis.
Right. And it's just been crazy to see the difference and stuff. And we had one also that had a racing setup, but it was naturally aspirated. So when you built that was going for my question. When you built the Berserk truck, now was there a goal on how much horsepower you wanted? You said you wanted a tough as nails truck. I think a lot of guys, bridge to lighter, but you wanted something like a Kohler kind of idea where you can take your truck, you hit every single freestyle obstacle at Pittsburgh, and the truck handled it like with ease. What was when you're come back to your idea of the truck itself, outside of being what you wanted to be durable? Was there idea on the powertrain and the horsepower also that you wanted to do with the vehicle?
Well, all right. So when I started, it was probably about 7 years ago in this stage, or in this current form. To be honest with you, I didn't ever think I would have the motor I have right now. Originally, I was just going to be happy with a big Ford with an alcohol injection and F106s and a set of decently tall tractor tires. So I like the big truck look. I came across a killer deal for a motor and power glide, and stuff just started falling into place. And then same thing with axles. I came across this 2 sets of Meritors for $1,000. The Rice Paddy tires I have now, I got those for like $2,000. been parts and piecing and just putting the truck together, and it became what I ultimately wanted it to, which I guess is kind of answering your question. I always wanted something that put down like 1,500 horsepower and big 54-inch tall tractor tires, and yeah, it just took a lot of time.
So another thing I wanted to talk about is what's your mentality when you race a sanction event or a special event like at maybe Anderson's Motor Sports Park, and then like the following week you do West Leb or something like that for a Mega Monsters promotion company, where your track is now monster truck related instead of Mega Mud Truck focus. So how do you get that set up different and everything like that?
So setup wise, like you talking like shock wise or just mentality, like team wise, or both?
Team wise, both. Let's go with both.
All right, both.
Yeah.
All right. So actually, my buddies, Mike French and another buddy, Philip Hall, they were like my crew guys for Monsters and Megas, and we all says like this is way more organized in a way, like time slotted. You know what I mean? You know how it is. Like we like for the monster truck shows, you're coming down exactly how you need it to be done. That's not taking anything from Dennis's. Like Dennis's is super organized and super fast. They're running, I think we had 75 mega trucks. All right, that's 75 trucks at Dennis Anderson Spring Sling running for Premier mega trucks. And they got all that racing done. That's bracket racing done in less than 6 hours, I think. Less than 7 hours or so. That's a lot of passes. I think that's oh man, I don't even know. I can't even count how many it was, but it was a lot. But it's way more fast paced at something like Dennis's. Setup wise, track wise, Dennis's track has relatively been the same for the past 10 years or however long they've been running the mega trucks for, so the hills are pretty much perfect. You can go out there and bonsai them, hauling butt and be good to go. Monsters and Megas was a huge change. Like that car stack that Ryan put out there was so big. Like it definitely intimidated me. I ain't gonna lie about it. It freaked me out a little bit. We had to go out there. We made one pass on Saturday and my shocks were way off. Like it beat and bucked me up, and yeah, got it fixed for freestyle though, so it worked out.
Yeah, and then Sunday you won racing also, so that track was also in my expected driving the truck that I was driving. I wanted to skim that first hill, not the roller, but the skim, and try to get my traction in.
Yeah.
When I versed Frank, I overshot it, back end kicked, and had to stop there. But for you guys, the mega trucks, for you, for instance, what was your mindset on that track and try to dominate that, because you did win Sunday's racing?
Actually the same as what you just said on that first. So like the roller, I was just trying to take off the line. I'm still, like I said, I'm new. I'm still learning how to shift the truck. So when I take off, I'm trying to shift it right back in, or shift it in a second and just get past that point. I handled the first jump relatively well. There's a few times I was like on the throttle a little bit too much, and I could feel the truck kind of like, hitting kind of hard. And then that second jump, I was trying not to way overshoot it because it was a kicker, especially for what I had going on my shocks. I mean, I'm still learning it, so we're not perfect yet. But like, I think the last racing pass I made against Sarge, I hit that second jump a little bit too hard, and it nosed that truck over so far. And when I was in the truck, I felt like I was in a nosedive. But it was fun.
Yeah, and then in freestyle, like you said, that I don't know who, someone had a good picture of you launching that RV stack. I think you were one of the first ones. A lot of people kind of tested the waters, but didn't really want to launch off of it, which you proved and helped us out as the monster truck guys. He did it. Let's do it. I mean, I know also during that freestyle, you were having issues with your fuel situation. I think the ejectors and stuff like that. And so between that and because at the end of that big jump, your truck goes bada, 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 bada. The famous sound of shit, and that type of deal. But you had that jump and stuff like that, which was pretty cool. And then my boss helped you guys out and whatnot the next day. So he helped you guys learn and understand, the oh yeah, Misty Rose. She's the one that did the photograph for the RV jump.
Yeah, definitely got to give a shout out to Misty, man. She holds it down for me. She's like MVP. I'm not just saying that because she's behind me, but for real, like she holds it down. She's out there doing her photography and everything, and taking care of our son at the same time.
Oh, there we go, double duty right there, double the time, double the fun. And helped you guys out understanding about the motor situation and stuff like that, because it definitely helped you out in racing. And then so I'm getting stuff here right now. Got a couple of your buddies here. They say he was scared, but Philip said he still send it. Patrick says he wants to see a backflip.
Yeah, me too. One day, maybe.
One day. He's also the one that says, you got Brad on the podcast. I'm surprised he knows what that is.
This is the first stop, man. Joe Rogan's next.
Oh, there we go. Then you're gonna be on Kill Tony. But you have a bunch of setups and stuff like that with your truck. Is there the shocks off of from Josh Garcia?
Yeah, he's gone through them.
I know he really helps out a lot of the guys in the monster truck and the mega truck world. No RL and those guys too over there in the North Carolina shop, which you have a past history there.
I do.
You have your former employee. You're good friends with Adam Anderson.
He's my hero.
Yeah, there we go. He's a lot of people's heroes. Man, how was your time and stuff like that? Because that obviously helped you out understanding and getting yourself in the, wanting to build mega trucks too. So, how was your time with working on the 66 side?
Man, so when I started there, I was right out of high school, and it was an awakening. My first year, I was only there for first quarter of 2011. So it was Adam Anderson and Scott Buteau. Scott Buteau's first year, and then I was with Brandon Vinson, and he was like he was like the main crew chief, I guess you could say. It was a lot of fun. It was I don't know. It was just a learning experience. Yeah, it was a learning experience. I'll say I was really young, but I still look back at it and I had so much fun. Learning from guys like Dan Bright and Paul Cohen back then, just that short amount of time that I was there, like really helped me become the fabricator I am today. In my opinion, it did. Like I often try to compare myself to what they do, and I try to be as good as what they put out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Paul Cohen and Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie Micah and all them, they did that stuff. So that's another question I wanted to do. Were you ever thinking about doing the monster truck route, or was the mega truck the route that you wanted to go do?
Sometimes I wished I would have just bit the bullet and put some bigger axles underneath of it. But at the time when I built the chassis, I used 1 3/4 157 DOM. My original plan was to use 2-inch, but the tubing supplier was out of it at the time. So I was just like, well, we'll just drop it down to this size and beef up the wall thickness and be good to go. So next time. I already have plans to do another one. It's just, do I want to do it, or do I want to wait a little while and keep feeling this one out?
And then another one. I know you with the truck that you have, why did you like to put the motor in the front instead of the mid?
So, being a longtime monster truck fan, I took a bunch of chassis that I liked the way they work. You know what I mean? I've been watching monster trucks since I was little, man. Like,
a lot of people like Tom's idea.
That's exactly. So I've always liked Bigfoot 8 and Tom's chassis.
Okay. All right. Yep.
So I took the front engine from them, I didn't want to run the single main rail because I didn't like the idea of it being able to bend. You know what I mean? Like taking a hard hit. You've seen Tom's chassis; they get hit and they tweak.
Mhm.
They tweak mighty hard. So I took a little bit of a page from Bigfoot 8 and added the secondary rail. I added a longer cradle. Same with more modern chassis. I added a little bit longer cradle. The whole top half, the shock towers, I took the idea of a somewhat adjustable shock tower from Concussion in case I ever wanted to go with a 26-inch travel shock. I can easily grind off my tabs and, put a set of new tabs on there and I'll fit some 26s. And then like the whole cage section, if you were to actually pull my body off, you would see very, very a lot of resemblance to a Gravedigger chassis, one of Paul Cohen's old chassis. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like everything from the A pillar to the B pillar, all the way back to the.
Did you
rear
ever
shock tower.
called Paul saying it took ideas? Did you talk to Paul, because Paul's he's a
Yeah.
very cool cat. When I started Monster Jam around 2014-15, he was there at the shop. Not the main shop, but that 3 bay.
Yeah,
that
the bigger building.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you had the digger shop with the store.
Yeah.
And then you would have this, when I was there, you would have a 3 or 4 car garage. No, it looked like a 3 or 4 car, then connected to another building
Mm-hmm.
where, Paul and Eddie would be at,
Yep.
the fab. And then you would have that slab where you power wash stuff.
Yeah.
So if you don't pay attention, the tires will roll into the lake.
Yep.
And then you would have the big building where, Richard Midget would have his dyno, and then RL and Josh and all of them would be over there.
Yeah.
I remember talking to Eddie and Paul a lot, just picking their minds about, brains about, the welding side of it, because I'm always interested in that. I tinkle here and there, but not anything big project where I'm going to have someone worry about me or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff. So when you're in the process of building your truck, which is, so Chris says it was 20 years, I guess.
I love my friends.
Did you ever call Paul and say, hey, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that?
So Paul helped me in the beginning, making a few of my parts for me. Like, I think my first and second set of shock towers or shock brackets that are on my axle housing, he helped me with those, and he made those up for me and sent them some measurements, and he cut them all up. He came out to my shop because I needed my lower link bar bracket made, and I wanted it to go from the front of the cradle all the way to the back. And he came out and he looked at the chassis, and I told him, I was like, hey man, this is a lot of views in here. You could definitely see it. So he never hated on it. He always said he was excited to see it run. So
well, yeah, it's awesome. And just the ideas of helping out and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. And then, the process of building a truck, people may think, it's, it could be this simple, that simple. It's not. You have so many ideas. Like Mark has a brand new chassis in the works right now, but then he sees something from Kohler, or he sees something that's added on a Eddie Micah on like Overboard or a CRD, and then he's like, oh, that looks cool, and then he goes back to the truck, cuts it, replaces it, and does something else. So when you're in the process of building your truck, obviously you probably went to some events and stuff like that. Did you also see other ideas and you're like, I'm gonna do that, and then you had to did it yourself?
Yeah, I definitely did. Also, while doing that though, I kind of told myself, I need to stop doing that, because they all joke it took me forever, but it really did, because I wouldn't stop nitpicking everything and trying to change this and change that. If you keep on, you're just going to keep chasing yourself around. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was going to be easy too when I first started. I was like, oh, this is so simple. It's just throwing a truck together. It's not. It is so much involved with everything. You know what I mean? That's honestly not a name drop, but that's why I had like Rick Disharoon and Ryan and Jordan and them, the guys at the metal shop, helped me out and helped me finish the last little bit of my truck. because I get so picky. I'll never finish it. You know what I mean? I needed that extra help to do that.
And talk about that. A couple of the members of the metal shop came to Pittsburgh and stuff
Yep.
like that. They made a big deal about it with you and the other guy. I'm sorry. He just added me on Facebook. If he's on,
David
Dave.
Ziza.
Yeah. I can't pronounce his last name. You know, but you guys are cool cats and stuff, and thank you for all that. But still, the metal shop really pushed you guys for this event. Jordan Fisher, which said and gave you, we're giving him a shout out right now. You said you had questions for this boy. I don't see anything going on right there. All that boy, stick to your mailman card there, Jordan. You know,
Yeah.
you know, stick
Someone
to
needs
that.
to call him up, remind him that we're on here so he can talk some smack.
Yeah, let Jordan on there. I mean, right now I'm fully believe that he mailed you his questions, and you may get them in the next few days, and it'll be already too late. So get your carcass over here and talk some mail and stuff like that, and we'll go there. See, people are giving a shout out. Where you at, Jordan Fisher? Calling Brad out online saying, "Hey, I got some questions for you." Oh yeah, whatever. You stick to your mail call truck. No, Jordan's a cool cat. Love that guy too. Talked to him a few times at the World Finals and stuff like that. Talked to him off and on at the Pittsburgh show, but he was pretty quiet with his friends. So
yeah, that's how he is. He's one of the quiet ones, hangs out in the back.
Yeah.
You know, you never suspected from those guys.
Right, but still, you know, with them taking their time to help you out and stuff, I know they're a really big push for the mega truck world and also the monster truck world with their chassis and stuff like that. But how cool is it having Rick Disherin and Ryan and their crew helping you out too, just, you know, finishing up this project?
To me, honestly, the whole truck in general is so real sometimes. I had, you know, not to get away from what you're talking about, but I had like Trey Myers. He helped me out. He built the front clip for me. Then my step side bed, I talked to him and I was like, hey man, is there any way we can do this bed that I have an idea for? I really want to run this step side bed. And I took my bedside up to him and we made some custom step sides. He made Bigfoot bodies, you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's so cool. And then to have Rick came out to my dad's shop and looked at my chassis because they'd never really been one to take on someone else's project. He came out and I don't know if he was just, you know, trying to make me feel good, but he looked at it and he said, you did this like by yourself? And I said, yeah, man. He said, no table, no nothing. I said, yeah. He said, dude, this is unbelievable. I'll gladly take this on and help you out. So to have Rick come out, say those things, and then, you know, take the truck, help me finish it out, have my back in so many ways. Like, he's been really helpful, my family and everything. It's just awesome. I have no other words for it. They are the greatest. In my opinion, like the Disherin family and what they got going on there, they're probably some of the greatest people in monster trucks. And I've been around a bunch of them.
Yeah. With the mega truck that you own, is there a particular area of the truck right now that you're looking at, like, you know, maybe I can strengthen this, or is there a part where I know this is going to break, but I can quickly change it before, you know, rounds of racing? Is there you know, I'm always curious about that because I'm starting to believe in monster trucks for how heavy it is.
Yeah.
Find the weakest spot, but make it the easiest one to fix on a situation that will break, you know, a Heim or something like that. But
yeah,
have you found out what is becoming a weak point of your truck where you may have to, you know, not redo it, but, you know, fix it or use something as it going? Never mind. Chris answered that. The driver.
What a nice guy. See, that's what good friends are for.
Fix the shocks and he'll be the driver. But yeah, that takes time on that. But
yeah,
yeah, the answer, I can't. That's the question, but that's just.
I mean,
Chris, man.
The shocks is honestly the only thing I can think of that really needs the work besides myself. As for like strength wise, to be honest with you, I just power washed the truck from Pennsylvania. I just got it back. And I just got it all cleaned up a couple days ago. And I was checking everything over, checking the powder coat for any cracks, any flakes in the powder coat. And honestly, to my surprise, it held up extremely well. Just so far, it's been great.
That's all that matters right now. What was the story behind the name of the mug truck? This is the Cheech hour that can't talk, so I'm gonna sign off here and good night. You just have a night with Brad. Berserk.
So
Yeah.
the name. So I actually had two names I wanted to name it. The first one was going to be Monstrosity because it's big. I've always called my little fab shop Monster Fabrications. I've always drank Monster energy drinks because I'm that guy. So Monstrosity. It's big. It's green. It's a monster. Wasn't up until like what was it, last year? I don't know if you ever seen the movie Clerks, but there's a song from that movie called Berserker, and I was listening to that song one day, and I was just like, "That's a dope name." And I looked up what a berserker was, and the first thing that came up on Wikipedia was pretty much someone that would go into town and do some not so great things, but just destroy everything. You know what I mean? And just
going crazy.
Just go wild, go berserk. So I was like, that's a killer freaking name. And I didn't, from what I could find, no one else had it. So I was like, that's it.
Why did you pick green? Because of Monster Energy, or?
So the green, I'll make a long story really short. That cab that's on there was originally my father's truck. My dad built that truck back in like 2001. Him and my grandfather built it, painted it. It was a beautiful street truck. Pops ended up selling it. We ended up buying it back, and I drove it around the street for a little bit, and I kept on breaking it, four-wheeling with my boys, going out, having fun. And I had the idea to put it on 1 tons, and it became a mega truck, basically. So even though I cut my dad's truck all apart, I wanted to keep it pretty much my father's truck, like my dad's truck, and kind of show, I don't know what word for it. I'm struggling with words too, man.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
pay homage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I want to give my dad and my grandpa a shout out for what they did. That's even why I got like a worn bumper made for it. Like dad originally had a worn bumper on it. I wanted a worn bumper on it too. I wanted the step
The main idea of your vehicle itself is to recreate your pops and dad's street truck that you ran around with.
Exactly.
So okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's even the wrap that's on the side of the truck. I don't know if you got a chance to look at it or not, but on the wrap is, and my boy Chris Weiss is on there talking all that smack. He went out and designed the whole wrap for me. It was, the building you see in the back is the shop that we do all of our work out of. My dad and grandfather built that building like from the ground up. Like literally, they took trees and they milled the trees and turned it into that building.
They used the product of the ground to build the same shop. That's cool, though.
They did.
Cool.
The old Ford that's on the side of the truck, the 1940s Ford, that's my grandfather's truck. He spent 11 years restoring that truck. My dad's truck is coming out kind of like let's throw back the Son of a Digger. When you look inside the shop and you have that truck coming out of it, I stole that idea and I put my dad's truck coming out of the shop a little bit, the 79 Ford jumping the hill on the side of it. That was me and my truck I first built when I was like 15 or 16 years old. I jumped that truck in front of that barn, pretty much in the same place that Chris put the picture at.
Nice.
So the whole thing, the whole truck to me is like a symbol of my family and me and like what we can do, what we have done. And, you put a little heart in something, you got it.
Got a shout out here from Mr. Robbie Williams. He said, Brad, when we first cut up the green truck and we were watching old school monster truck tapes in the shop and you were in the shop, you did ever think the green truck would be what it is now?
Dude, Robbie had been there from the beginning. Like from when we took the street truck and put a cradle up underneath of the stock chassis, which we didn't end up using. That's the first rendition of it. Like, he was there that night that we did all that. Him and I were out there for like a whole summer, just trying to throw this thing together, not having a clue what we were doing, notching pipe with a quarter band.
What's going on here? It seems like it almost forgot about rolling in the front yard by the pond.
Man, we didn't forget. We just didn't mention it. There's so much stuff I could talk about. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I'd be on this thing for 4 hours.
Put the stories in the back 40. Good question from Kurt Nagy. What's the furthest away you have taken your mega truck for a show?
Furthest is Pennsylvania. That was my first one. I actually got to travel out of state. I think that's the furthest one I got planned for this year right now, unless some magic happens and I can make it at West Lab. Pennsylvania's a hike. I never realized how far away it was.
Yeah, I mean, people, just to refresh if anyone popped in here, the Pittsburgh show that he was at was, I think, third show or fourth show out with this truck of his. So, he's been mostly local, but he'd be traveling around and stuff like that, and hopefully be at West Leb in New York. And are you, thinking about, when you do these trips and stuff, to try to find other places to go? Hey, I'll hit this up on my way back down, or something like that nature.
So I've tried reaching out to a few of the other promoters out there, like Elliot and stuff like that. I want to run more monster truck shows, to be honest with you. Mud's cool, but honestly, it sucks trying to clean it all up.
Yeah, kind of like that Champion fella. He did a couple, like Craig Champion, I think, his vehicle and stuff like that. And it's pretty cool to see that stuff and all that way. Like you said, what I know in the monster truck world, if, for instance, if we go out west, we'll try to call or book stuff on our way back to Illinois, just to get, the extra dough, and stuff like that, just to make it worth your while, because the pay that you get only lasts for so much, and especially with traveling and how fuel prices are and stuff like that, it's a burden, and food and hotels and all this stuff. It's crazy, that somewhat check that you thought everything's all right. After the end of it, it dwindles down to it. Then you're wondering, okay, well, damn, I need $500 more just to get this third member all ready to go. It's crazy.
That's not to interrupt you. Right now with the mega trucks, for all of us, it's honestly like a labor of love. You're in monster truck world, I'm in the monster truck world, so we know y'all get paid, pretty good money. It's not enough. Let's be real. It will never be enough for what y'all go out there and do. You know what I mean? Like it will never be enough to cover all the expenses. But for like mega truck guys like myself, like, being honest, it's just a labor of love to go out there and get what most of the shows we don't get paid to show up to at all. We have to try and win. Like, try and win the payout, first or second, third. One day I think that we're going to get to the point where there's like a few guys going out there and getting paid to show up and everything like that. But for right now, like I said, it's just a labor of love going out there and trying to run. We spent more in fuel trying to get there than we would have ever made. Like my buddy Joey, he actually runs Premier Mega Trucks. He drove us out there, loaded us up in a toter home with a 40-foot trailer, and drove us out there, hooked me up.
Nice.
Like, we couldn't have done without him.
Got another guy here, Rich Beam. He said, dude,
that's my dude.
Worked his day at the welding shop, doubles down on the truck, work hard, great dad, awesome dude, call a great friend. And it's some bro love right there. And,
hell yeah, brother.
Jared here. Brad, we need to take a road trip to Maine, to 4-Wheel Proving Grounds, and hopefully bring that truck to the Mud Pog there in November.
All right.
Is there any gold destinations you like to bring a Mega Mud truck to, like Maine or Indiana or Mid-America? Like, is there places that you kind of want to go to and be like, hey, I want to try that?
So, let's see. Trying to. All right. So, like you mentioned, Mid America. This is going to sound like this is the nerd coming out of me. This is the monster truck nerd coming out. I play BeamNG.
Yeah.
My boy Nick. Oh man, I can't think of what his name is right now on Instagram. But I think he's a younger kid. He builds a lot of mega trucks. He put my truck in the game, so I'm always on Mid America because it's like the big wide open track, and I'm always on I'm driving my mega truck in Beam at Mid America like 9 times out of 10. So that'd be a dope place. I don't know if they're still doing anything out there or not, but I want to go to Iron Horse, like down there in Florida. That's a huge mud hole. They got a freestyle track and everything out there too.
Georgia, South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Twitties would be fun. I like the more side by side racing. You know what I mean? I think Twitties is they're more like an obstacle course like time track, which I'd be all about. I got to get there though first. I like that side by side because I can see how I'm doing with the guy next to me. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more motivation.
Do you have a quick change gearbox on your truck too?
And I do. I'm running an old Cyclone gearbox, which is a pain in the butt to find parts for.
Oh yeah, that's the Cyclone one. Isn't that the guy who originally drove Ice Cream Man? I think that's his company.
I think it was him and somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Rob Widget.
Yeah, it was like FTI before FTI was FTI or something along those lines. I don't know.
So do you also, I mean, are you experimenting with gear changes too, like also with the tracks and stuff?
So yes. Actually, the first time we went out and tested the truck was at Dennis's place, the dungeon. We went in the field where they test all the monster trucks, and we tested out there. And I had the way wrong gear in that thing. I had such a bad gear in that thing, I burned the transmission up. But luckily, my buddy Will, I did his Bronco for him years ago. We use a lot of the same parts. We're kind of interchangeable. So I took his transfer. He allowed me to pretty much steal his transfer case. And I took his bowl gear set and put it in mine because it was a 1.5 to 1, and been using that ever since with a few different quick change sets on it, and it's working pretty good so far.
Man, that's awesome. So, people want to know also about your social media, where people can follow you at.
Let's see, Facebook. I got Berserker Motorsports LLC. If you want to follow that one, like that one, I try to keep that one like for the truck now, since I have a place to do it at. You can always add me if you want to be my buddy on Facebook, just Brad Kovacs. Instagram's the same, Brad, no space, Kovacs, and I try to post everything there. I think we have TikTok too. I can't remember what it is though. My girl and actually Chris Weiss, they do that one for me. Oh, and trying to do better on the YouTube. I have a YouTube channel called Narkill Garage, and we're trying to do stuff with that. That's a mental blockage, like trying to talk to yourself in the camera. You know what I mean? Like when you're trying to do something. I don't know how those guys like Cletus and them do that.
They have people that do all that stuff. They have their thing on that. But man, Brad, thank you so much for being on. Once again, for us, follow me at Dan Chichegosh on Facebook, Instagram. I am MT Dan Agosh /28 on Instagram. Also been on a football, baseball kick, on TikTok. So if you're in sports and stuff like that, I have a TikTok, but it has nothing to do with monster trucks. But Crush This also has a TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram too. Just follow us on Crush This Monster Truck Podcast. Also have a RC page too, Agosh's RC. Instagram and on Facebook. Go follow that. I instead of working on the 1-to-1s, I work on 10 scale and everything like that. So before we go, where's the next venue for Berserk?
So if I can't do West Leb like I would like to, the weekend after that, and if you don't mind, I want to give them a shout out. Like
go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
Premier Mega Trucks. We're running at Delaware International Speedway, I think it is, or Delaware Speedway. I can't remember exactly what the name is.
Metal Shop. normally does?
Exactly. We're running right there. We're doing a cool little team race. And that's my next big one that I am for certain going to be going to. Anything with Premier Mega Trucks, man. If you got people watching and listening, check them out. Like that's the sanctioning body one day for Mega Trucks. Like they got it going on, dude, for real.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to check them out and promote them up, follow them. They got it going on, man. Seriously. I can't speak enough about them.
That's cool. We'll put a link on that and stuff like that when we post your segment on our iTunes and Spotify. So that'd be an audio version and whatnot. So
I listen to it all the time, man.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for the love and everything like that. I do appreciate it. But thank you for also letting us know about the mega truck side too. And next week we're gonna have a 2-week, I guess, break. Next week we're gonna have TJ Tiffany. We're gonna learn about FMX motorcycles and all that stupid stuff they do. The crazy antics and everything like that, and being a side act for such a long time. And still keeps on going. So that's gonna be pretty cool. So, Chris says we need Joey on to do a podcast one day to talk about the series. Well, maybe we could do that. We'll work things out. Try to push that going on. Maybe closer to the Delaware show or something like that. But Brad,
August
10th.
Yeah, August 10th.
Okay.
Is the Delaware show.
All right, August 10th, put that on your calendars, fans, and go check a look at that. The Delaware Motor Speedway, not to confuse with Dover. So if you go to Dover, no one will be there, and you're probably
going too far.
Going too far, and plus you're pretty much a little early for a NASCAR race. So don't go to Dover. It's Delaware Motor Speedway, so it's kind of near the Delaware PA line, I think, right?
I think the area is like Delmarva. Exactly. Yeah. It's 2 miles south of the metal shop. Or I think it's a mile south of the metal shop. It's right there. So you can swing by and talk to Rick and Ryan and see what they got going on too.
Yep. Maybe you guys fall in love so much you go replace and get himself a Magma truck. And everything like that. So, man, once again, thank you so much for being on, Brad. It's cool, and thank you for being a fan also of the product. So it's cool, kind of a little bit of full circle deal, but it's kind of neat seeing, some of the motorsports sides that always intertwines with the world of monster trucks. And thank you again.
Thank you, man. It's an honor. I wish Brad could have been here. I tried to get him to come out and wear his favorite Dixon, but I guess he had other things he had going on.
He was burning up, he said. So
I feel him. It's hot.
Yeah, it's hot. Up in old Canada, it's hot. He's working on those oil rigs and stuff like that. He's a roughneck. So once again, guys, next week will be TJ Tiffany. Once then, thank you to J Concepts, Hall Brothers Racing, MW1 Entertainment, MTRC, Back Channel Productions. Thank you so much for you guys do. But like Brad says, talk to a friend. Anything in need. Just one phone call away. It doesn't hurt that they want to hear your voice, not see you on a paper. So, and also try to donate blood. We got a lot of blood banks, Central Blood Bank, United Red Cross, United Red Cross. There we go.
There you go.
And show some love there and help donate. But for Brad Shaw, I'm. We got someone that says congratulations. Good to see you on the show. So. Congratulations, Brad, on your victory, too. But once again, for Brad Shaw, I'm Dan Cheech Agosh. This is Crush This Monster Truck Podcast. Keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up. Peace.